Hello, my name is Ben Keyte, and I'd like to make a short video about my views on Brexit and the action I think that we need to take in order to get things moving. Um, I'm not going to make it any secret. I voted in the European Union elections for the Brexit Party. I believe they have the best solution to change things and bring about the occurrence of Brexit without any failure in the system in terms of getting into an agreement which will bring us down to the level of a vassal state of the European Union. I believe a clean Brexit is what we need to put in place, and I'm very, very disappointed that the government have now voted against the opportunity of having a no deal Brexit on the table at all for Boris Johnson. And like him as you may, Boris Johnson really had no chance with that Conservative government and those members of Parliament currently in place to get a vote through uh, of such magnitude in that current situation. And given the situation that he's trying to take us into, which hopefully would also be a no deal Brexit, he stood no chance. And he is only going to be backed by his party and by the Labour Party if he gets through some sort of a deal with the European Union, which will no doubt be an extension of what Theresa May has already put in place, and therefore will create an absolute situation or devastating situation that we cannot escape from and get become a separate state from the European Union in the near future, if not ever. So my views on Brexit, putting my background behind you and what I believe in and what I'm voting for, I also believe in having a no deal Brexit. I believe a clean break is the only way we can firstly get back the money they owe us, something like £38 billion, which belongs to us. And also, it puts in place a situation where the Brexit Party, should they be in power, will be in a situation to legislate or create non-governmental facilities or opportunities for people to who are in the microcosm are not able to set up their own business and bring it back into line with what is required with the severance from the European Union. We will need a party like the Brexit Party to legislate for this and also to facilitate and put it into process during the time that they are in power. Therefore, for the next 10 or so years, a party like this is crucial to the moving forwards in our endeavours to get out of the European Union and put everyone's fears to rest, because the vast majority of people who have fears, they're mostly unfounded. There's no need to be afraid of leaving the European Union with a clean break, because there are so many implementations we can put in place to get people out of the European Union, be it they're worried about their passport, or they're worried about dual nationality, or they're worried about becoming an expat, or anything like that. There should be non governmental departments put in place by the governing party who has got severance from the European Union to legislate for all these occurrences, including the business practicalities, the big business, the small business, and everything else. And I'm glad to see that the Brexit Party is also taking to task the large corporations with online sales, meaning that they're going to be taxed and repopulating the high street and bringing back a thriving feeling to the economy of Great Britain. That excites me, and a lot of things about the current process of a clean break from the European Union excites me. I think it's a good time to be British. I'm optimistic. I believe the pound is going to go up eventually. I believe we're going to get through the first 1 or 2 years where the severance will be felt most acutely by the people who worried about it most. But let's face it, most of them had vested interest in the European Union and weren't totally free in their mind from the financial benefits of the European Union. And that goes to speak for half, if not three quarters, if not 9/10 of the government in our country. So anyway, a clean Brexit is essential, and legislation and facilitation by the government is also something that I believe should be put in place, and I believe the Brexit Party is capable of doing. They're all switched on people. We all have a good sense of how to deal with things, how to manage situations. You know, anyone in the Brexit Party has a good general knowledge. They know what's going on. They have a good ability. They have a good amount of nous to know what to do next in the current situation. And even if they don't, even if they're just general public, there should be people in place who have this capability to enable people to facilitate this process and get people out of the European Union as quickly and as swiftly as possible. Now, I was just seeing a video headed up by Richard Tice about up in the north of England, where there were a number of new candidates interviewed or who spoke on this film, which was a rally up in the north, and it's fantastic. The age, the depth of age. You know, there's the youngest person, I think was 22. I think that's fantastic. A black girl, you know, wonderful. You know, if we can have, you know, it's not just about the white people, Brexit. It's not just a race thing anymore. People see it much more as a reason to save ourselves from this over authoritarian European Union that is taking us into them to be part and to be a servant to their cause, which is nothing more than stealing money off us and turning us into a super state that is, you know, going to be a quarter of the world. This is an eventuality we do not want. This is something from 1984. This is worse than George Orwell now. I mean, a future like that relies heavily on, you know, a total disassociation with anything historical, any principles the people in that individual country might have. The viewpoints of the individual nations will be overlooked, the individual languages, the national anthem of individual countries will be overtaken by one national anthem for the European Union. There will be no more national flags. There'll be one European Union. You know, that horrible yellow starred flag will be the European Union flag. There are so many reasons not to get into the European Union and why it is now failing. People are waking up in this world. They're ascending. People are seeing the light in many, many different ways all across this world. Brexit is just one of those movements where the world has seen sense and is starting to change for the better. And as we move towards this light collectively all across this world, movements like Brexit will spring up. And it brings me to my next point, which is my views of how possibly, should we have trouble severing ourselves from European Union, we also can offer them some bait, if you like, to get out. And my views on this are simple. We have a Commonwealth, okay? We have a Commonwealth who we can trade with easily and a good trading relationship with America, okay? Now, the European Union has some access to our Commonwealth, but not a great deal, okay? Now, far be it for us to sell our Commonwealth to the European Union. What I also suggest is that through the Commonwealth, we get involved in the BRICS plus partnership countries, which are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now, India and South Africa, in case you didn't notice, are Commonwealth countries, right? Now, to get involved in the BRICS plus community, which is a multipolar world order, it's a world order where we don't have one federal bank dictating to all policy from one singularity to the whole world, which gives no picture of how the world should be run and is absolutely chaotic to the vast majority of individual states within that pyramidal system. Then we have a system already inaugurated by the Commonwealth and our connection to BRICS Plus. BRICS Plus is expanding across the world. It's developing countries. We should very much see ourselves as an entrepreneurial country. We're not a developed country in terms of the practicalities of having a superstate like China or Russia at our disposal, or America, or the European Union. who are deemed to be a developed country on its own as a singularity superstate. But as a developing country, we can very much get on and embellish a new creative source for the BRICS Plus community with our Commonwealth to boot. Yes, we are the fifth largest um, economy in the world. And of course, we are a developed country, but we have this ability to develop our creative source to set ourselves up as a new developing commodity for the rest of the world to profit from, and for us to profit from the rest with the rest of the world in tandem with, in a multi-centric universal order that is a shared commonwealth and a BRICS plus polarity connection network throughout the whole of the global community that is not deemed to be from the Central Reserve, who just has one order, just doing one thing for a network of the entire world where regime change is required or anything needs to change. They just put it in place and then bring in a central bank, and suddenly the American government controls that. We don't need that. We need a good relationship with America, and we need our relationship with America to be as one. And this brings me on to my next point with the BRICS plus agenda as it moves on. Sorry, not plus, a plus, because it's a plus, it's a positive thing. It's moving on forwards as we bring in the Americans to this agenda as well, as they look to South America to sort out problems there and to manifest new ideas in managing their situation with the problems that we have in South America that are affecting the rest of the world, especially in light of this climate change and also the drugs trafficking and all the issues we have around Southern American states. These things Trump is tough on in his own country. And if he starts to export his commodity, his version of events, and his network to South America, we can certainly see two systems tying up with the United States, provided we can keep doing business with the United States and keep them on our side. You know, in the current situation, having Trump there and the BRICS Plus order on the other side of the world, connected to Brazil, also in South America, we can tie up some new interests around the world, and gradually, as everyone moves towards the light, we can move towards the next progress, which is to get to the next level in terms of where we've reached and how far we can go.